Hello, everybody. All right, we are ready to roll. Make sure you have a chair and so again, starting with this basic practice, scoot to the front edge of your chair, hands are on your thighs. You're able to cultivate those three important principles here. Zhongjung, central upright. Everybody agrees it's good to have an upright body, right? But where the Taoist Tai Chi, Qigong take diverges, and in my view is the correct and superior way to look at it, think about it, is the other two concepts here of, so once you have Zhongjung, then rather than looking for your stability in bracing and holding and being strong, the opposite, this idea of releasing everything that you can possibly release in your body, which is different than being atrophied and weak and collapsed. So when we say relaxed, or we say the term in Taoism is sung, S-U-N-G, that is plump. That is spacious. That is open for all the flow to happen through the body. Because if you really think about it, electricity flows, blood flows, lymphatic fluid flows. It's likely that chi, if chi is a thing, which I would say yes, it flows, right? So everything flows. So if everything is flowing, then what's important is that we're not blocking that flow or restricting or constricting the flow. So it just makes sense, but that's not how we usually think. So releasing and relaxing to the best of your ability as you sit with good posture. They say there is a descent of that which is of the earth, that which is heavy. So when we're tense, we're holding what is of the earth in our body, and so then we're clumsier, we're heavier. But when we release that, we clear out that heaviness, and what is left is light, easier to move. And again, just think about a beautiful dancer, or if you've seen, again, Tai Chi, if you see someone do it who's good at it, it has this ethereal quality to that movement. What is allowing for that is these sort of infrastructural concepts. Zhongjung, Chunwan, letting go of everything that you can let go of, and then allowing that feeling, that lightness, that softness to be what you operate with, that light, nimble quality. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth, hold, in through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. Do that 8 more times. Hold, inhale, exhale. So while you're breathing, you're remembering central upright, relax, light and nimble. To me, this makes meditation very interesting. Because yes, in meditation, there is the, trying to quiet my mind and, be peaceful and all of that. But being able to tinker with these qualities of structure and the tissue tension and relaxing and feeling everything that can be dropped out of me go down into the cushion or down into the floor, and then feel light and easy throughout your entire body, right? You could sit for a half hour or an hour like these Zen monks do and the Taoist monks do, sit for 2 hours, because you're practicing something rather than just sitting and trying to not think about stuff, right? And that other element of the clearing of the mind also happens as you do this process. Now, the Shenfa body methods that go to those places that we can't just with our thought, with our mind, say, hey, relax, because it's just stuck, whether it's from an illness, whether it's from injury, whether it's just, time in the body. So here we go. We slide the hands back, elbows back, scapula back, arch the spine, lift the chin. So go to the extreme of this direction, not too far, but far enough, all the way to the end. And then go to the other extreme. Slide the hands forward, hollow the chest, rounding the back. Drop the chin, open the base of the skull and the back of the neck area. And then do it again. Slide the hands back, elbows back, scapula back, open the chest. Do this one with an inhale. Hold, and then with the exhale, hollow the chest and round. So this is one Shenfa, one body method. Inhale. So it's a relatively simple one. That doesn't mean it's less impactful. It's very impactful. It's just not overly complicated. And it really just works at the deep issues in our tissues and structure. This sort of bound state. This is helping to liberate that. Just want to have the body feel liberated and mobile and free. Right? And then back to neutral and just flow right into the next one. So again, we get to Zhongjung. We still feel Chunwan, relaxed. We feel that nimble lightness, and we use that light nimbleness to rotate. Turn to the left. And turn. Don't worry about, did I turn far enough? Because then usually when we're overvaluing how far I turn, that's when we grab our body and force on it, yank on it. So really value this Qingling, this light and nimble, this easing and oozing and flowing through movement. Really train yourself to find you can use that. That is a valid system to move, and it's actually our primary power system. It's just we don't train it. So Tai Chi, Qigong, Taoist movement trains that system. And it is a more nourishing, healing, regenerative system of movement. And it's more powerful, ultimately. Like the power of the ocean versus the power of a robot arm. And then we're back to middle. Arms hang, lean right, left wrist floats up, left foot empty. And back to the middle and lean. Back to the middle and lean. Just picture a young sapling, right? That quality of a young sapling as opposed to the quality of an old tree that has no moisture left and no consistency in its integrity. So we want to train our body wherever possible to have this pliable, adjustable, adaptable quality. And then we're back to neutral. And we go right for those scapula, the shoulder blades. Forward, up, over top, back and down, sliding down, come under, forward and up, back and down. When we take our car into the mechanic, it's likely that they have their little protocol that they put the car through. They check this, then they check that, then they go to the next part, right? And it's not a matter of always reinventing the approach, right? They go, well, it's a car, and we treat the car in this order of events, right? And so that's what we're doing here. Even though we've done it many times, which the mind can say, well, we've already done this. But we have to do it every time. Our body needs that regular maintenance, especially as we age, and especially if we have some sort of illness that's kicking in. Reverse, back and up. And it's also a training. There's a great Zen book called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And the main thrust of it is in the title. Beginner's mind is the enlightened mind. So the more we learn about something, the more layers of remembering and all of that gets in the way of just that fresh approach. So see if you can practice these movements that we've done many times, and each one can feel you're present, it's new, it's fresh. You're paying attention to every little micro sensation. Training ourselves to really enjoy the simple. And bend the elbows. Elbows flare out. Keep the shoulders as relaxed as you can as you go up, as high as you can. So again, even though you see that elbows are up in space, the tendency is to think, oh, I got to put more effort to get them higher, but that's just not how it is. It's actually less effort. So just do that a couple of times. See if wherever your highest height is, bring it down just a little and then go back up. And see if you can let go of tension, let go of effort, and just feel easy, 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 easy. And then back down. Around in front, squeeze. This helps to open the back. And then down, and we go out and up. And again, same idea. Whenever we think, oh, it's getting high up into the air, oh, I got to put a bunch of effort into it. It's like, oh, just, no. Turn that system off where you think you need to really force things. Really turn that off and just find ease of movement. Everything we do in Tai Chi and Qigong practice. Then we go elbows back. Elbows down, forward, and up. Now this one, it does require a little extra something because usually there's a lot of gunk in this gear. But you got to apply some effort, but not in a way that creates tension and blockage. And then forward, down, back. And Moshe, watch me on this next one. Notice when I go to here, notice my elbows did not go out this way at all. And as they keep going up, the tendency when we're tight in this area, so right there, your elbows have gone out somewhat. Keep them in, right? And go up. When the elbows go up, the hands go down, down. So this is a demand. That's much better, Moshe. Very good, very good. And then forward, down, and back. So again, that's this space inside here and all up in our back that we're loosening up. Elbows behind you, back, and then down, forward. Forward. One more. Elbows out, one above, one below. Again, this requires effort because we might stop here, but we can go here and maybe here, maybe even there. Really find how much around. And Deborah, notice how you're up here with you were up here with your left hand. Try to not be there, be around the shoulder. little more demanding. Good. And then open, 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 open. Feel all that space. And then switch around. And then, like, you might get to here, and then use your hands like a little inchworm and crawl yourself around. Same with you, Marjan. Notice how your hand is above your shoulder there? So don't do that. Have it down and then come around the shoulder. Yeah. And your bottom hand there, Marjan, so you're on this side. Try to take your right hand and crawl it around the rib cage so that eventually you're able to touch your own back. That's the goal, at least, right? Open. So we're closing, closing, closing. And what's important on this one is this space here has to fold and sort of collapse, right? You see this shape that I'm making. Now, again, if I walk around all day and I'm stuck in this shape, that's not good. But the body is good. It is good for the body to make this shape and then come out of this shape and then go back into that shape. So that's, again, the emphasis in Taoist movement practices is the health of the body is understand all the mechanisms and then make sure all the mechanisms can go all the way to one position, all the way to the other, and then you polish that, and that creates this healthy chi flow and mechanism flow. Release your arms down. Right knee up, pull it in. So again, mechanism. Draws in, extends out, draws in, down. Other one. All the way to this position, all the way to that position, all the way down. Relax, loose. We're not doing weight training right now. That's not to say weight training, body weight training, free weights aren't good. Resistance bands, those are all fine. Those are all great, especially when you train how to use your body with hydraulics as well. Straight leg, point, flex, point, flex. And tilt the foot in, circle. Reverse. Down. There's that saying, a Taoist loses something every day. Loses something. So what am I getting rid of in each of the exercises? Right? Rather than what am I adding on, it's more what am I cleaning out? What am I polishing out? Circle. And as you clean out what is in the way, what happens is a sort of decompartmentalizing of the body so that the body works as one liquid whole instead of a bunch of parts. And step your feet a little wider than hip distance. Lift your toes up and turn. Knees in, toes are in, quad is closed. And then lift your toes and open. Lift your toes and close. Open. Decompartmentalizing, where a lot of bottleneck happens in the hips. Freeing up the relationship between pelvis and upper body and legs. So we want this relationship here to be very specific, not just strong and tight, but also not weak and atrophied. It's got to have this Chun Wan Ching Ling quality of space and nimbleness. Come back to neutral, and then legs don't move, pelvis moves. Hold, lift, back. Again, my spine, I'm not doing anything specific with my spinal column. It's just along for the ride. Shoulders are along for the ride. The arms along for the ride. So I'm doing something pretty major, but it feels like nothing. Now, let's take it up a notch, slide the feet back a little. Again, notice the ankles are the middle now, because right here, the middle is the butt in the chair with a little bit from here. But when I go to stand up, I got to get the arms, shoulders in front of the ankles, the butt is behind the ankles, and then all the way up. And then just the hips go back. That allows sitting. And again, when people see sitting, they usually see the knees and they start punching their knees out. Make it the butt, right? Find this. This is the same mechanism for doing, let's say you put some weights in your hands and you wanted to do squats to build strength. Same mechanism. You're holding the weights, you fold, you sit the booty, the knees are happy, the legs are firm and toned, and then you just push through the earth and rise. So it's the same mechanism in a different context. Let's do two more where we don't sit in the chair. Hips, fold, push through the earth, come up. But remember that it shouldn't require some overt effort. In fact, we want to polish that effort out. So what we're using is hydraulics. It's loose but not sloppy, precise but not rigid intense. Now we're standing. We've got this soft quality through the knees, looseness through the shoulders, right? Ideally, everything's soft, relaxed. Now let's go right into our Tai Chi. We go forward and up, right? And notice how when I come up, Alex, it looked to me, I can't tell if it's the angle, but it looked a little bit like you led with your hands, whereas notice how my hands follow. So there's this looseness all the way through. And then that allows room for that change to happen. So at the very top, we want to then let there be that flow. So you feel that through all the joints and tissues all the way to the fingertips. And then down. Same idea here. You want to let there be that soft, loose. And then also notice this here, the space. If I poke my finger in here, there's like a hollow inside here, where sometimes when we're doing this, we're jamming our arms closed. So try to let there be this, you can maybe see that in the picture. There's like a circle right in here. If you've ever seen someone roll a basketball across the chest, right? There's this circle here that we want this movement to be opening for us. And then down. So again, when we hold our arms up, people can get very tired in the arms if we're holding them up with tension. But when you practice Tai Chi, and you should practice your yoga like this as well, you go, oh, if I'm loose, then there's no, I can do it for an hour. I can do it for 2 hours, just loose and relax. And then scoop hands under and open, same idea. Rather than tight shoulders, loose chest shoulder blades. Reclaiming ease. All the way out. And open. So you might see me changing weight leg to leg. At this point, I'm not doing it for any particular reason, but I do allow my body that freedom, right? So don't feel like you have to just hold yourself stuck, right? Allow leaning, allow tilting to happen. The body is very smart and it knows how to improve itself. Now we go up Right hand turns palm up, comes over top, left hand sweeps under, and we've got two hands attracting, two hands repelling, and then this big round that arrives. Yeah. Big. This idea in food where we say, oh, we want, whole, nutritious food, right? Think of that with your movement. This whole, no cutting corners, this round. And the brain, our movement is a source of, it's a type of food to our brain. So noticing how we're moving, if we're yanking our body around and moving suddenly and sloppily or rigidly, it's a different kind of nourishment to our brain and nervous system than just this floating quality. Both hands down, up in front, elbows back, push. I'll turn a little to the side so you can see this. I don't stop here. I find that extra little bit. So the back area of the scapula opens, and this area should sort of hollow and close right in here. And the scapula should come over the rib cage a little bit, right? That, rather than being stuck here and just stopping your push there, find that last little bit and then come around the back side and scapula return to slightly retract and then push. So again, a lot of people just stop here and have a forced hand position, relax the wrist, finish. Again, like an octopus tentacle, all the way out to the tips of the fingers, wrap around, and then, again, this is Shen Fa, body methods with the opportunity. We're given an opportunity to change something. So even though you've done this movement many times by now, Zen mind, beginner's mind, each round be present the whole way and see if you can get another little scrape of rigidity out of the body. Now let's turn left hand and push. Let this inform where our middle pivot is. Turn that hand to face, turn this hand forward, and one draw, one push. Let that inform your turn. And then turn that hand, turn this hand, and one draw, one push. And hands change over, one draw, one pull. Right, and this one, over time, it starts to have a little bit of a, this hand's a little lower, this hand's a little higher, and then there's this, like a little float, and go. And float, and right, so again, this natural lilt is the word I always think of. It's got a lilting quality to it. And back. And Deborah, it looked to me like, try that again. It looked like you were kind of going like, and like really forcing it back. So just for this variation, notice I just come over like that. So we don't want to kink anything. Yeah. Again, it's this sort of, you see that range. Back, down, release. From your middle pivot, change the weight to the right leg, turning slightly right. Change the weight to the left, turning slightly left. change, turn. The bear washing paws in the stream. The simplest possible advanced Tai Chi. Because it's got all the ingredients of advanced Tai Chi. The weight changing from leg to leg, the waist turning, and the hands doing something opposite with each other, right? So you're having to track, okay, that hand's in this position, this one's in a different position, and then we're coming across. You have to let it finish and get around and then change positions, right? And so this bear progression is one of my absolute favorites because it's got all this room for us to find that nuance. Go into the bear swirls the stream. So if I turn sideways, you can see all that I'm doing is letting the buoyancy in this hand float away, and then it naturally wants to go around a circle. Then it comes in as the other one floats away, but notice I'm not lifting. So be clear on that differentiation. And then we go, okay, the bear swats the low jumping fish. So there's just a little bit of a lift. And the palm is turned this way instead of how it was like that. So there's a little change. And then it drops down. So because it came up, it can also practice coming down as the other comes up. And we got low and slightly higher. Low with the left and slightly higher with the right. So the brain is having to track these subtle changes. Now we go a little higher with that bear swiping paw, chest height, so middle jump. They change, shift and turn. We got low and a medium height sweep of the arm. And with the bear movements, emphasize long, right? So try to not have a bend in your elbow. So Marjan, you have a little bend. I'm not saying lock your arm, but practice this Tai Chi straight concept, right? This all the way as far away from you as you can with your mind without causing tension throughout the limb. Because if I really go for it, I actually end up shortening and tightening everything. But if I just think long, they call that fang song, softening into length. And then let it return. Same thing here. The bear movements are important for this because when you reach away but you stay where you are in your middle, you're cleaning out your back. You're opening the nervous system channels in the back that come out the spine and go around. It's very important. So getting far away with that arm and then letting it soften and return. And then far away. And then we go far away and higher. So we're getting a different angle of what gets bottled up in our shoulders and back. Reaching far away, but being so relaxed that you do not feel like you are uprooting yourself. You're staying grounded not through forcing down, but by releasing down. Let's go for that highest jumping fish now, where you straighten your legs and reach as high as you possibly can, but don't feel like you're pulling yourself off the ground. So we don't want to be here with it. We want to be loose, grounded, and yet long. And then as that arm comes down, this one goes up. And then we're going for the highest possible reach. Long reach, that cup on the highest shelf, that shirt on the highest shelf in the closet, and then come down. We're going up to reach that item, but we don't feel even an ounce of ungrounding. And we want to feel freedom of these mechanisms of weight changing in the leg, the waist is turning, the scapula are free. Last one. So these bear ones clean out a lot of space for us, and then we go for this next one. Again, the rationale for it is, now this is sophisticated. So fold, now we're a loaded weapon. Shift and turn and brush push, right? Now we're doing something sophisticated here. And then wing, roll, fold, load it up, and then ease on down the road, express all the way through the tips of the finger. And then the hands come down, wing, roll, fold, in, shifting, turning, brushing, pushing. Let it flow all the way without, again, this is a really important point of it, where I'm fully extending, yet not falling, right? So I'm grounded, I am in the right leg, and reach, and then let it return, soft, 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 full. Now we're all closed in and loaded, and feel that stored quality here that then you can express. Wow. You let it go out, 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 out. Remember what I was saying with the Taoist definition of a healthy body. It's mechanisms that can go their full range unobstructed. So when we do our Shenfa, our body methods, we run into obstructions. We run into sticky spots, gluey spots, pain, awkwardness, weirdness in the brain and body where we're like, I thought my hand was here, but it's here, or it's doing this. So we're encountering our weirdness and polishing it, organizing it. Now, bring the left hand up, right hand down. Right foot should be empty. Step it a smidgen behind you with the toes turned out just a bit. Change your weight into that right leg. Key bit with this single leg standing stuff is pay attention to that. This is what people often do. They sit out in their hip. I'm exaggerating something that might be happening in a subtle way, where we collapse and push the butt out. You don't want to do that. You want to have the tail a little under. And look at how my leg looks right there as I put weight into it. It's a very stable structure here that has like it's like an archer's bow, right? So this has a feeling of an archer's bow, where this has a feeling of like jamming, crunching, weird places of impingement. So that little pelvis kind of under piece as you sink, and see if you can get that feeling of your leg is like an archer's bow being drawn, right? So have that quality there as you take your empty foot and just touch out in front of you like so. Very light, very light. Now bring this foot back, heels kind of touch a little bit, toes turned out at the same sort of opposite angle. Now change your weight. Remember the archer's bow, so don't get stuck out in your hip, don't jam your butt back. See if you can feel that bowing of the leg. And then this other one is now empty. Hands change. Bring the foot back, no weight, change. Feel the bowing. As the bowing potency in that leg turns on, this leg becomes wholly different. This is no longer bowing and being used as a weight. This is now empty. So now, can you play with toe off the ground? Toe. Possibly. Full lift. And a key thing here you can see with my lifting leg is you want it relaxed. Why? Because if I have a bunch of tension, now it's this big heavy piece of lumber, versus if it's relaxed, it's a foldable piece of origami that I can just draw up. Put that foot down. Now turn this one into your bow leg, not bowl leg, but bow leg. Put that foot out, and then again, play with toe, right? Maybe lift and down, and then someday it's foldable origami leg. Right? But again, like Gail, right? Versus when we have all the work here, you see how nothing is changing in my frame. Again, that's a high bar to get to. but that's the idea. Now let's flow a couple times. Put the foot down, change. Let that bowing leg take the weight and put it down. Change. Full, empty, empty, empty. Put the foot down. Change. Change. And wash your paw. Play with clouds. Brush me. Sweep lake. Lake vapors becomes a cloud. Shift. Turn. Cloud and lake. Rain, vapor, and shift. Turn. Cloud, lake. What happened there, Alex? Alex stays up top. This hand stays up top. Stays up top the whole way. This one is down low. Right? And then they switch. So now this is high. Get your right arm up. Get your left hand down. Right? So you're kind of stuck here instead of separate. Now keep them separated. Notice this hand. Don't forget this hand. So what you did there was this, and this got stuck behind, right? Both. And then they change. Pause right there. So what is, yeah, there you go, good. Now they shift and turn. Cloud, lake, don't forget your lake hand. And then change. And then cloud and lake. Don't forget that lake hand. Change. Cloud and there you go. Beautiful. Keep them both in your mind. And one of the tendencies is we go faster for some reason when we try to get something, right? But slower. Allows room for your mind to go, okay, do I have that? Do I have that? Where's my weight? Tracking, 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 tracking. And both hands down. Back to center. Put your right hand behind your back so that you're not thinking about it now. Scoop that left hand under, sort of bottom of a ball. Shift into your right leg and turn a little to the right. Now this hand goes forward. Forward, right? Like you're gonna throw a frisbee. So Alex, look at my hand. Palm facing up. And notice I'm down here, not up here. Down. Yes. So that shape rather than that shape. That shape. Now the hand goes forward and that was perfect, Alex. Beautiful. So you're going to have to repeat that 1,000 times now. Turn the left palm out, sweep down like a wing. Come underneath. Now again, remember we're down here, but we end up here. We go forward and away from the body, so away from your body, and then travel, 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 that's right. And it ends up way up here. So it was down here and it got up here through this particular arc. Turn the palm out and sweep. Sweep. Now let's add, as the hand goes forward, we shift and turn. And turn the palm out, the hand comes down, and we shift and turn. And then we shift and turn. Palm out, shift. One more. Shift both hands. Put the left hand behind your back. Now we're down in front of the hip here. Come forward and up at that diagonal. Turn the palm out. Wing, leg, in front of the hip. Forward and around to this upper corner. As your hand comes across, put the weight in your left leg and turn that way. So then the hand goes out and then it's shift and turn. Make sure your hand gets all the way up to this corner. Turn the palm out and turn that palm out motion right there so that you can crane wing. Remember this movement, right? That's that way down. That same movement. And then remember, sweep the leg. That's this movement. And then this is cradle the ball, right? But now this is the unique movement so far in class is flying diagonally. Out, around, and up. And then you turn the palm out, and then it's crane wing, leg sweep, bottom of ball. One more. Out and shift turn. Turn the palm out, crane wing, sweeping under, and both hands. Now, left hand under, right hand over the top, palms facing each other, kind of like there's a connection between them, and let's go out and back. Out and back. So this one, now we turn it slightly on its side. So now your left hand's going to do that same thing we worked on, right? And this top hand is doing this opposing movement down that way, right? Together, they just pass by each other. So turn your left palm up, Alex. Left palm up, yeah. So then they pass by each other. So this is, again, it's a great example of Tai Chi and its difficulty / value is you keep adding layers of subtle complexity. So right now we're not shifting and turning, we're not stepping or walking, we're not doing anything but trying to track opposing movements at a diagonal through space, and already the brain is like, that's hard to do. Now, stroke, turn your left palm out, right palm up, embrace the moon. So that's left hand down as right hand goes up. Left hand sweeps the leg as right hand folds over. Okay, so that's embrace the moon. Stroke wild horse's mane. So that's one of these plus one of these at the same time. Very nice, everybody. Beautiful. And then turn the palm. So 1 and 1. And then embrace the moon. So what is low goes high. What is high goes low. Under and over. And we're back. Now, shift into your right leg and turn to the right. So again, it's that flying diagonal plus the sweep down. Shift and turn while stroking wild horse's mane. And then turn left palm out, right palm up. As you embrace moon, shift right, turn right. Just from this middle pivot, this little turn sort of winds everything up like a spool, kind of. And then we get to express it from that spool. So as the hands begin, we're shifting, turning. Right hand goes down and away, Alex. Yeah, that way. As left hand goes up and away. Yeah, so both at the same time. Do, 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 do. Where's your right hand going? Down and away. Yeah, right? So it's difficult, right? But it's good for the brain to experience this. And then turn your palms. Turn and spool it up, gather it, and then issue it, express that unique, interesting movement. One more. Turn and wind up the thread. Gather. And then spool it out in all those interesting directions. Turn. Reverse. Gather. Now take your right hand out, turn your left palm, and just wash paws in a sort of letting go, releasing quality that you just settle to the middle. Now, right hand under, left hand over. Do this first one just to sort of calibrate. It's a little easier when we go in parallel to the ground lines, right? We're just going, okay, opposing movements, the hands stay kind of on their line, right? And then we make that a little more difficult by doing it on a diagonal. So this is that line from high to low. This is that line from low to high. And we're going. So Alex, notice that your left, yeah, exactly, right? So notice how, it's a good example. I don't know if you guys can see him. I don't think you can. But what happened was he did it right. And then when he went this one came along with it. It's just how our brain works. It's difficult to separate things. But that's why they use this term. Let's go and do it again. And Alex, I'm seeing really great change in your body here today. It's really good. This ability, that's it. This ability to separate the parts, but they use the term dynamic separation, which means they're still communicating. They're still relating. They're still balancing each other. Right? One more just like that. Separate. It's great, everybody. Turn your right palm out, left palm up. One goes down, one comes up. One goes under while the other comes over. Now we're ready to, again, it's this plus this, separating from each other. The stroking wild horses make. It's awesome. Great job, everybody. Turn your palms, if you can, simultaneously. That. And then, as you embrace moon, shift left, turn left, gather the ball. And then, shift right, turn right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Separating, the middle, organizing everything, but everything spooling away. Turn the palms, and then regather. Re-spool everything. Do like you're winding up, winding, and then unwinding. Turn the palm. And they use this term, I've used it before, silk reel. So we're spooling silk threads. And it's literally how it feels. The more you practice, you start to really find there's this power, this ability to control this body in a very cool way. That's, again, the metaphoric, poetic image of as if reeling silk is closer to the technical truth of it than you could say in some other technical language or Western anatomical language. Their poetic imagery is more to the point. Now, from here, sweep left hand under, right hand over, and we go that way. So we're issuing, expressing, spooling out. We're relaxing, and then we're storing on this side. And then we're going to issue. And then we're releasing, so we don't have a bunch of something caught in there. We let go of everything, and then gather. And at the end, let go. And that softness is what allows you to, right? If I'm tense, then I got to force it this way and force it this way. But if I relax, everything sort of rolls around itself, and you find this. So then there becomes this efficiency with Tai Chi that equals speed. It equals being very proficient in movement. Is so soft that I can just go, and then through the space inside the body, wrap it and fold it and bring it to this shape, and then change the shape, and then change and transform, change and transform. One more ball. Hands down, wash, pause. Again, this is so important. So when you come back, you don't grab a hold of the body and say, okay, I'm done. Stop. It's like you should always be doing Tai Chi subtly inside, not allowing clenching, gripping, holding, blocking. Always loose. Then we finish with the sink chi wash organs movement, where we lean a little bit back into the heels, just a little, open and lift. And then lean into the toes a little bit, sweep around. And we want to feel this closing in front thing. Closing in front, opening in the back. And then this rock back to your heels, and this sort of like a cascade or a washing, and this folding in all the way past the mouth. And then like a waterfall, so it's coming in, and then we settle to the middle. And then this important thing with the Tai Chi squat, hollowing. So rather than sticking the butt back and tightening the mechanisms, hollow. See how I'm letting my chest, my pelvis soften in front. I'm kind of exaggerating it here, but that right there allows this, the bowing of the whole body, sink, and then push through the earth, stand nice and tall. And we do it again, rock back to the heels a little bit, opening, lifting. So get a satisfying shape here, arms way out, and then get them around and all the way out, satisfyingly out here. And then rocking back, and again, what's really satisfying when you've been really extended is unextending or return and settle to the middle. And this hip hinge, hollow belly, chest, everything hollow. So there's a little roundness in the back. We allow that roundness, the back. We don't want it to be stuck in a round position, but we want it to be able to go round and also arch, right? One more. Back. Forward. Back. In. Cascading down to the belly, which is this middle reservoir, hollowing, sinking, releasing, standing. And then we finish shogun, wing, roll, fold, settle, navel, one hand over the top, other hand stacked, and just how soft can you be? So if you got anything like this happening in the body, drop it. Drop it. Good, Alex, because I was looking at you, that arm did look like it had a little of this, right? But just let it go. And see if you can let go of something in this arm too. And then also noticing your legs and hips. Are you locking at it in any way, or can you just let it be soft? Relax. And then if possible, close the eye. Let everything return to a quiescent, calm, we close with this little hand mudra representing the yin yang symbol. Sorry, the camera's here. Yin yang symbol. So. Have a seat if you have any question or thought, insight, epiphany. People really get a lot out of other people sharing. You know, it's very valuable. Change my camera.
I gotta leave, Otto, but this is a good class. Thank you.
Okay, bye, Karen. Thanks for being here. Anything else? Gail, good to see you on your feet. No pun intended.
Thank you. I had to do some modification because my right knee is pretty wobbly still.
Yes.
So, but when the PT person heard that I do Tai Chi, she was like all over. It was like, oh, that's the best thing you can do. And she was like very impressed that I had already been doing circles with my feet and pointing and a lot of the stuff that we do in class. And she said, well, this isn't your first time. I said, well, that's what we do in Tai Chi. Yeah.
Is what we do.
Yeah.
We go to every mechanism, right? Anything else? Great job. Alex, did that make sense what I was sharing with you today in terms of seeing those different, the differentials?
Yes, you're right. And
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your
Yeah.
help.
And the power is, you know, in the Taoist, you know, this is not just unique to them, but they have the term, the E. We spell it Y-I. E means the attention, the ability to, we know what it's like to have a distracted attention, to be confused or over focused over on this thing. So harnessing our E is really important for life, but that's why I love these practices, is that slowness and the attention to the nuance. It's a way of, it's a gauntlet. It's an obstacle course for our conscious E, for our mind, that is superior to, and I've done all the different practices. I love yoga. I love other fitness practices because they do other things, let's say, better than Tai Chi does, right? But nothing marshals and gathers and makes coherent our whole being and leads us in the direction of highly functional, light, nimble, just function, just really, really functional, like Tai Chi does. That's why I'm just like, you know, it's my lifelong deep pursuit. And I'm just so fascinated with working with folks who are dealing with something, whether it's aging or Parkinson's or whatever, to just see how that comes in and, you know, turns the wheel a little bit. So really try and use the videos and practice and see if what I'm positing is true, because it can sound great coming out of my mouth, but if you guys aren't practicing something like this every day and working on the neck and the shoulder blades and the wrists and, you know, all this stuff, I mean, we'll never know how good it is for Parkinson's, you know, unless you do it. So anyway, anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. And Deborah, let's be in touch. I was super busy all week. I apologize. But I'm really looking forward to chatting. So I don't know if you want to pop on here real quick and tell me if you're around on the weekend, or because I'm busy through the evening today.
Hi.
Hey.
If you're around over the weekend.